Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Africa Straight Talk. We are Africa's unapologetic podcast that dives deep into the African immigrant experience in a unique and straightforward way. I'm Emmanuel Nadeau, and we truly appreciate your continued support of our podcast. Joining me today is my co-host, Kwesi Wilson, a communication studies professor at College of Alameda and the host of the podcast, Telling Tall Stories. Kaboshi has work commitments and is unable to make it for today's recording. Also, this is our final episode of the year. 2026 is coming very soon. We will have fresh new episodes for you to enjoy. If you want to be guests on our show, email us africastraighttalk@gmail.com. Let's get started. Kwesi, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. Ghana is going to the World Cup. I'm doing great.
Oh, Ghana is going to the World Cup. I mean, you know, every time I am really a fan of the English League. I watch it every night.
My English League. I don't own an English league.
Well, not your English. Not, but I'm talking about the English League.
The English League, EPL.
Yeah,
Yes.
the English League in England. And there is a player there that always, when I see him playing, they say his name, it make me think of you. Doku. Yeah.
Oh, from Man City, right? Man City.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's no resemblance. You never saw me play in my prime. I don't know how it makes you think of me. But he's from Ghana too, yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. When I see him, he is a great player, man. I love him when he's he's short.
He has the ball tethered to his feet. It's almost like a spring. You can't get the ball away from him. When he gets the ball, it's hard to get away.
It's hard to get away. And sometimes you feel like he's going to be going outside and then boom.
Right. Unfortunately, he plays for Belgium, right? So he cannot play for Ghana now. But Ghana is going. I'm not really too excited about our current squad, but I'm very excited about the opportunity for Africans to make a huge splash at the World Cup. I think Cape Verde has a very strong team. Mm-hmm. I'm rooting for Congo to qualify. I really didn't think Nigeria had a strong team. I'm talking about the playoffs now. But I really love that Morocco is going, Egypt is going, all the countries that are getting to go, and a lot of newcomers too. I really, given the history of how African teams have been treated at the World Cup, from having only one spot to 2 to 5 to now 8 or possibly 9.
Mm-hmm. That's
I'm
great.
just waiting. I just want to see an African team win the World Cup, and I can go to my maker in joy. I just want us to win one World Cup.
Okay, but you know that the DRC is qualified.
They haven't qualified yet.
Well, I saw that yesterday.
They have to play one more.
Oh, they have to play one more? So
they beat Nigeria.
They beat Nigeria.
Asian country or so. I mean, it almost feels like a shoe-in, because I don't think that Asian team will be strong. Mm-hmm. But, they have to actually play the match before we can determine if they're making it. At least that's my understanding of it. I don't know. I stand corrected. I don't know for sure if that was the case.
One of the things that I really notice about African teams, they always talk about voodoo.
Yeah.
So the game between Nigeria and DRC, they said, there was voodoo. But, when you go to the World Cup, did you see those white people talking about voodoos? You have to be good at what you're doing,
There's got to be something to be said about that. I don't think, for me, ascribing it to some other forces other than your own agency is the problem, right? Sometimes even when I see players, each side, praying to God, I'm like, you must think God has nothing to do for you to say, like, pick a side, Yeah. Because who's God listening to?
Exactly.
This team or that team? And they're all praying to him to win. And I think when we get into that space of blaming other entities other than ourselves and that, doing that really critical analysis and introspective things to really understand what went wrong and how we could fix it. When we get to blame other people, we don't get to do all these things. And then we still wallow in our mediocrity, I guess.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So I will hope that we'll get away from that and then go to the drawing board and see what we did wrong and how we could come back. I think I saw one of the coaches, it was the Nigerian coach, saying that, to your point, that there was voodoo from the Congolese.
Yeah, when you go to a World Cup and you're playing with European football, teams, and you don't talk about they're doing the voodoo because they beat you or something like that. They need to put this on the side. Oh, one good note.
One area they could use voodoo is getting a visa to come here, though. They could use that voodoo. They could use that voodoo to get past the Trump policies. They actually sort of said that, I guess there's a waiting list of people who are waiting to get visas to come here. And instead of having to go through the normal channels, the people who are going to be fast-tracked forward to get a visa processed will be people who have tickets to the World Cup, but it doesn't guarantee your visa. You have to still go through the vetting process.
But, because I think that the FIFA organization president, I think, was trying to really make some deal with the Trump administration because it's going to be a big loss for them.
It's ticket sales.
Yeah, the ticket sales is a big problem.
Have you seen the ticket prices?
How much are they? $500?
$700, $500 is a bit too much. Anyway,
well, that's in America because everybody wants to make a little money out of that. You know what I mean? One good note though for these Haitian team that also come into the World Cup.
Oh yes,
that was this country Haitian. They're so resilient. The people of Haiti.
I know, and Curacao. Curacao is coming. Cape Verde is coming. I just can't wait for this World Cup. And the best place to watch it? I really don't think, if you've been to a football game, when you're there, you don't hear anything. You don't see the place. I think part of the experience of watching a soccer match is the commentary and hearing the sound, the noise in the background, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you're there, I've been to watch a game, and this experience is different. And the best place on planet Earth to watch a soccer match for me is Ghana.
And Ghana?
Everyone watching is a coach.
And Ghana?
In Ghana, when you're watching, remember when you called me during the European Championship in Ghana?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just the environment and the energy and everyone, because this is passion. Now, I'm just saying Ghana because that's what I know, but I'm assuming in Ivory Coast and your country, Ivory Coast, and other places too is the same. But just everyone is a coach. There's this passion.
The spectators, they're all coaches.
They're cussing out the players.
They're cussing out the players. I know. But
I just want to watch the World Cup in Ghana. I think this is the long shot, but if Ghana wins, where would I rather be? Here or in Ghana? I'd rather be in Ghana. So I think I want to watch the World Cup in Ghana. If any African team wins, I want to be in Africa.
Well, I like to watch it on TV. I like to watch it because on TV, unfortunately. But also on TV, for me, you see all the details that you may not see when you're in a stadium.
Yes.
Like the cameras go deep into the field and all this other stuff. I love that. I love that,
But, is this it's just the coming together of the world, just everybody coming to the World Cup, bringing everybody together. I think probably this whole thing is a good segue for our guest who's coming in today, because his topic has to do with when the world was not together, right?
Yeah, when the world was at a standstill.
Yes, so I think this will be a good time to bring him in to come and talk about how he helped us navigate that, what's the word I'm looking for? Tumultuous.
Yeah, tumultuous time.
Tumultuous time that we all faced.
Okay, so why don't you bring our guest in?
Our guest is no other than the guy I know as Echo Fisho, but most of you don't know him by that name. His real name is Angelo Echo Achampon. He's a professor of communication studies, a cybersecurity analyst, and veteran broadcaster, also known in the entertainment circle as DJ Fisho. If you're from Ghana, you definitely know this name. Echo has been a professional broadcaster since 1995. He's hosted shows on Choice FM in Ghana, Radio Ghana, 1390 AM in Maryland, and My Star Radio in Washington, D.C., an online radio station broadcasting to the entire world. In 2020, Echo launched Music for Your Quarantine Feet, MQF for short, on Facebook. He did this to lift spirits during the pandemic with music and humor. The show's rapid rise led listeners to donate funds, which he used to buy weekly lunches for frontline hospital workers in Maryland and later support hospitals in Ghana. MQF has since featured numerous Afro beats and highlife artists. Now streams live on FM, Instagram, My Star Radio, and Asasi Radio 99.5 FM in Ghana. Now, where's the drum roll? Drum roll, welcome Echo to Africa Straight Talk.
Thank you, man. I've been enjoying listening to you the last couple of minutes.
Which part did you enjoy the most?
I don't even know. Well, I know the least was my intro. I don't even like hearing all that stuff. But I enjoyed the World Cup part of it. So
the World Cup. Where are you watching it?
Well, like you mentioned, the ticket prices, it looks like it will be cheaper for me to buy a new TV every game.
Exactly. buy your 75
and enjoy that.
It. Yeah.
But I have a friend who has one of the franchises for the the tailgate experience.
Oh, I see it.
Outside of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be tempted, but they're over in Atlanta, so I don't know. If Ghana will play in Atlanta, I'll probably go over there for the outside stadium experience, where they'll have like a tent with the commentators there, and they'll
interview too outside to watch it, right?
Watching, and so that will be an exciting one too, as you said. But
so right. I want to make sure, Kwesi, you said earlier that the ticket price going at $700. Is it $700 per game?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. You got to be very choosy then which game you want to watch.
Like you're saying, you could buy a TV.
Yeah, for every game. Yeah. Come on.
So, yes, those are the average pricing. But I usually they'll switch it up. Depends on who is there. I'm sure if they get like a game somewhere, let me just use Charlotte, and then you have, let's say, Germany versus a Curacao. It'll be probably a lot more cheaper.
Than
Spain.
And perhaps even the Mexico and Canada games will be cheaper.
Might be a little cheaper. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's we finish talking about the soccer now, because our guest is the most important person today on the show. So let's talk to him and find out about him more. Okay.
Oh, just when I was enjoying the football part of it.
No, Echo, really welcome. We really appreciate you setting some time aside to speak with us here on African Straight Talk. I know Kwesi introduced you and he knows very much about you, but for our listeners out there, what is MQF and why did you start it?
What is MQF? MQF has evolved from what it originally was. So I'll probably start with the latter part of your question, which is why did I start it? So as Kwesi mentioned, MQF was a virtual music show that I started in 2020. But where did that come from? Before then, I used to, I'm a professor over here in the Maryland area, but I've enjoyed DJing. I started doing this way back. I started DJing when I was 16 years old. And it was just a passion of mine I do just to keep sane. And so I started working with a station over in the DC area called My Star Radio. And I liked it because I used to play from home. All I do was to connect my equipment to their server, and then I would DJ 2 hours on Sundays. So I did that from 2017 through to 2019. And I'm usually very busy with DJing events. I tend to go anywhere around the world. And in 2019, in Ghana, the most exciting thing was the year of return. Everybody was going for the year of return. I was busy around that time. I was doing some IT stuff in more in the Midwest. So there's a lot of travel. And I remember I had to go to Ghana to DJ at 3 events, December 27th, 28th, and 29th. Rest on the 30th and then come back on the 31st, because by the 2nd I had to be in Montana. So I knew there was a busy week ahead. I spent Christmas Day at home with the family, hosted an event. Went to Ghana, left to Ghana on the 26th, arrived on the 27th. I DJed the 27th, DJ 28th, DJ 29th. On the 30th, I was just tired. But I don't mind. I enjoy going to Ghana for events. I always accept Ghana gigs because, it gave me a chance to visit my mom. So on the 30th, I just spent time with my mother, at home, just relaxing. And I left in the evening. I said I'll pick her up the next morning. We do brunch, and then I fly back home in the evening. In the morning, 7 o'clock, somebody woke me up. My mom wasn't waking up. I get home, she was gone. So, to make sure to get her to the mortuary, all that stuff. And I flew back that night, 31st. So I come back, I'm in a different frame of mind because everything was just so sudden and so shocking, right? So I go to Montana, I do my work, I come back. There are all these funeral arrangements in Ghana. And so I go to Ghana for the funeral in March. I come back. The day I arrived was the day Ghana was shut down because COVID had started. Now, this was the peak of COVID, 2020. So everything was weird. No flights out from Ghana. Friends of mine who had come to Ghana for the funeral some were stuck. It was just a weird feeling. You remember here, people were dying by numbers every day. Nothing was happening. Nobody was going to work. Working virtually if you were lucky. Nothing was going on. And then I noticed a lot of people started doing things live. They will come on Facebook Live and speak, or they will come and DJ. And I enjoy listening to stuff like that. But I was not in the mood to do anything. I was still tired, and I was still, a little worried about my mom's sudden departure. So I was in the basement because we had come from Ghana. So my wife and I decided to quarantine ourselves in the basement, not come upstairs where the kids were and all that. So all we did in the basement was watch Netflix, and we watched all the shows that were out there continuously. And my wife I think I started getting on her nerves. Get out and do something. I said, no, I'll sit down and I'll watch Netflix, or I'll read a book somewhere, and then I'll see people doing Facebook Live. And then some of my friends started contacting me, hey, why don't you DJ on Facebook? And I said, absolutely not. I enjoy DJing, but I don't like the video aspect of it. I don't want people to see my face and all that. That's why I enjoyed radio and not TV.
Yeah.
Because, it was fun to be behind the scenes. I wasn't necessarily putting my face out there.
Yeah.
So she would make noise. Go and play, go do your thing. I said, no. Friends would send me messages. I said, no, I'm not interested. And one Sunday, I must have gotten on her nerves or something. She says, no, go do it. So I put it out on Facebook, I'm going live in 2 hours, old school and Afrobeat. So this was about 2 p.m. and I went live at 5 o'clock. And I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, just connected. I went on Facebook to play old school Afrobeat, and the impact was shocking. All I saw were people just coming onto my page. Apparently my page was private. I didn't even know the difference between a private page and a public page. It was private, but I had a lot of friends. So they would come on and people started commenting. Like it was like a party, a virtual party.
Yeah.
So it was a show I didn't announce. I just put it out 2 hours before that I was going to do this. And I had about 170 people on there. So I got excited. It was funny. I probably wanted to be more part of the people who were texting than playing the music. But maybe after 20 or 25 minutes into the show, I got an alert, Cash App alert. Mm-hmm. And it just zoomed by. Then there was another Cash App alert. I said, what's going on? Now, I remember I told you I lost my mom, right? So I thought it was people who were sending donations. They had probably planned to send it earlier and they didn't send it. So I didn't look at it. But then another alert came through and I popped it up and it says, thanks for the music. And I burst out laughing. For what? For this music I'm doing. So then people started sending, I think at the end of the show, I had like almost $400 or something. And I started laughing. I said, okay, I guess I'm a sucker for ice cream. So I said, yeah, I'm going to get some ice cream. My kids were excited. And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'll give them some ice cream and come and enjoy at home. Yeah. Then my wife is like, why don't we get something for, all these people in the hospital? Because all the stories were frightening. They go to work, they don't step out again, they get home, they have to change in the garage. It was disturbing. So we said, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So I called the hospital closest to my house, the Laurel Regional Hospital, asked them if it was okay, we could bring them lunch. They were surprised and said yes. So I went over to, I think the first one was Panera Bread or so, placed an order for about $400 worth of lunch for them. We took it there, handed it over. And the feeling.
So when you took it there, did you take this there as an individual person, or was that under the name of an organization?
No. As an individual. I remember all this. I was just doing. I didn't even think I was going to play again the next Sunday. I just thought I'd done one show, and I was done. So I just took it there, and the feeling was just awesome. I called. They met us outside. They picked it up. And it's funny because when they came, they said, "Do you need a receipt?" I said, "Receipt for what?" He said, "You filing taxes?" I said, "No. I'm just buying this for you guys, and just to say thank you for all you do." So we get back home. I think I put that on Facebook as well, and then people said, "Oh, next Sunday, are you doing it again?" I said, "You're crazy. I'm not. No." But the feeling had gotten into me then at that time, so I said, "Oh, you know what? Let me just play this again." And so that continued for a while. I just did it on Sundays, playing music, old school and Afrobeats. And then what we started doing was reaching out to hospitals around the area. And then we changed the concept of the show a little bit. What I realized, because I was in radio, I knew a lot of these Afrobeat artists. So I'd gotten in touch with a few of them earlier, finding out how they were doing and all that. And we're all worried about, they generate a lot of their income through live shows. And because of COVID, they were not doing any live shows.
Yeah.
We're a little worried about, what was going on. A lot of them were focusing on writing music and all that, spending time. So I said, I spoke to a friend of mine and said, what the heck? Is it okay if I interview some of the artists on the show? And she was like, yeah, let's get that done. So we added that aspect of interviewing guest artists on the show every Sunday. I'll speak to them, and then they do a little live, should I say, mini concert on Facebook Live, and that's how it started. And
so these artists were at different places in Africa or something like that.
Yes, we're all over the world, but because I was connecting through Zoom, was able to giving an opportunity to meet a virtual audience, which was very cool. To cut a long story short, it's been going on. Last Sunday, I had my 251st show.
You are listening to Africa Straight Talk, your go-to place for African immigrant experience.
You might wonder why I'm still going on, but that's another thing I'll answer later.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yes. Actually, my favorite show, I don't always catch it, but one that I really, really was thrilled to listen to was when he had the people who created the Afrobeat documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Beat documentary. It was a very good inside the back story to how the documentary was put together. They didn't even know they had something in their hands when they were doing it.
Yeah.
And how it all came to be. So lots of really interesting guests showed up, and I think can people find your YouTube videos as well to watch the old episode?
On YouTube you find me under Echo Fisho, EKOW FISHO. So under Echo Fisho you can subscribe and you find
yeah. So what is the typical day for you like, given you wear all these hats before pandemic and post-pandemic? What is a typical day for you like? Security guy, you're a lecturer, you're a DJ, philanthropist.
And now I bought a cruise franchise.
And now what?
I bought a cruise franchise now.
Oh,
a cruise franchise.
Yes, and he organizes cruises to the Caribbean islands.
Yeah, I think that's my retirement gig now. As I'm heading towards that, it'll be time to wind down. It's. I think I've done it so many times that it's more of a problem if I'm not busy. So yeah. So lecture now. The easy part, easy in quote, with teaching is when the books don't change, when the textbook don't change. It's a lot easier for me because I've gotten used to it. I know how my notes are made. I know how to interact with students and all that. So that's a little bit easier. When it's a new textbook, it takes a little bit out of you, and that's it.
Right.
Yes. On the cyber side, I do a lot of my work from home, so it's a lot easier. I mentioned 2019, I was doing a lot of travel. That was the crazy part of it. I would go. It was a contract with one of the hospitals, and a company that owned a chain of hospitals in the Midwest, and I had to go to locations to actually work from there. So it became tough, missing classes, flying over to do the IT stuff, come back. That was a period of time I don't even want to think about. I was always flying somewhere or missing classes one way or the other, trying to do virtual classes when I really didn't have permission to do all that stuff. So that was tough. Now it's a little easier because I can do a lot of the IT stuff from home and still walk into classes physically. So in a regular semester, your fall semester, your spring semester, I do physical classes. In the summer and the winter, all my itinerary is virtual. So that allows me time to travel and do the cruises and the DJ stuff. Now the DJing in the Maryland area, I used to have all these equipment. I still do have them, but now I don't lift speakers and stuff anymore. It's a bit tiring. So I just go around with my controller and I DJ where I have to. I'm very picky about the events that I do. But I still do a lot of the international stuff. As much as possible, I try not to work on Fridays because I travel out of town, a lot over the weekends. But yes, the music thing it's just been a passion of mine from when I was young. Like I told you, I started DJing accidentally when I was 16 years old. And my dad was very strict. I wasn't the kind of guy who would be able to go out for parties anytime. No. He wasn't like that. So I would hardly ask for permission to go out because I know the answer would be no. But there was this party in airport that everybody was going to. And I asked him for permission to go. He says, yes, I can go, but be home by 10. Oh, Lord. I mean, Tozo, the Ghana parties. 10 is when everybody's coming.
Yeah.
But, my father said, go. 7 o'clock, come home by 10. So I went. Luckily, between 8 and 9, there were a number of people there. And the DJ wasn't playing anything good. And I got upset. Like, I only have 3 hours to be here. You better play something good so that I can have fun before I go home.
Before you go, yeah.
Well, you know what? This is interesting. I wanted to ask you that. I was going to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask it now. So the DJ was playing something that you did not like.
No, nobody. The whole dance floor, nobody was dancing.
The whole dance floor were not dancing.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that? Because the way I notice some of the DJs, sometimes the DJs play for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They don't play for the party goer, but the people on the dance floor.
A good DJ reads the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, can you say something about that? Please?
About that, that's what Chrissy just said. You should know your audience.
Yeah.
And read the room. To me, what I always say is every party is a production. With me, I know I do a lot of events with people that I know. It's sometimes it's about 60 or 70% of the same crowd. If you're not careful, I can't be playing it's the same songs that you hear most of the time, but you need to mix it up a little. You need to diversify. So you need to read the room and focus on what I'm doing. So I'll kind of partition every party in my mind to 3 blocks, right? The earlier part when people are coming in to settle down, usually people will go jazz or something to let the audience settle. Sometimes I can do that, or I can go strictly, if I read the room a little bit, it's more masculine. I'll probably start with lovers rock or reggae just to get people in the mood. We're not dancing yet, but to pep them up a little bit. And then I read whether it's an old school audience or it's an Afrobeat. You need to know the audience and read it out. You can't play just what you want. Because I like a whole wide range of music. So if it was left to me alone, it wouldn't do that. But that's what happened anyway. So the DJ was playing stuff that nobody was dancing to. Now at that time, I had no idea about R&B. No, all I did was listen to reggae. So I asked a few people, like, what are the top songs you want to hear? And they told me the songs. I wrote it down, 10 songs. I went to the DJ. I said, look, do you have these songs? He said, yes. I said, why are you not playing them? He said, he doesn't know. I said, okay, show me where the songs are. That time it was cassettes. So he showed me the cassettes where the songs were. And I said, how do you do this? How do you play? And it's weird. Today I'll be upset if somebody did that to me. But he allowed me to sit there. I didn't understand anything, but I just told him, play this, play that, play that. And by the time he got to the third song, the dance floor was full. People were cheering. I'm like, oh, I'm not that bad. I can learn this thing. So that was the very first time I actually did, in quotes, DJ. But and I didn't do that again in front of an audience. I collected music a lot. I collected reggae music a lot. I should actually be more specific. Until I got to university. And I met, there was a big jam coming to happen in one of the campus, on one of the halls, Ligon Hall. Everybody was excited about it. And the guy playing was a senior friend of mine called DJ Atai. So I went to his room before the event. And because I told you I like music, right? But I didn't really know how to DJ. And I said, oh, I'll come to this event. And he says, what are you going to do? I said, oh, I'll just come to enjoy. I have a lot of music, but I don't know how to DJ. He says, no, I should learn how to DJ. He will teach me. So he taught me what a mixer looked like, channel 1, channel 2, what to do, and all that stuff. I found it fascinating, and I played a little bit in his room. And he says, why don't you play a little bit before the jam? The jam starts at 9. I'll come there about 11. Why don't you play from 9 to 11? I said, me. All I know is reggae. He says, yeah, so play reggae before from 9 to 11 when people are there, hanging out. I said, nah. He said, no, go do it. And I did it. And it was, just boys. Reggae usually is just boys. But the fact that people were there and having a good time, I enjoyed it. Then I met this girl, you know how girls manage to get into your mind, right? So I met this girl who changed my taste in music. So this is 1991. And so I started listening to R&B. I said, oh, it's not bad, I started listening to R&B, and I liked high life and stuff anyway.
The Rasta started coming off.
Yeah, I didn't lose the passion for reggae. No, the Rasta boy shouldn't kill me. It's just that I diversified my taste in music. I started listening to R&B and hip hop and all that, and I kind of liked it. So then there was campus radio. So I had a show on campus radio playing one day. Yeah, so I played one day, and I was walking out of the hall, and I meet this guy on campus. He had come to visit his girlfriend. His name was KKD, Kwesi Cheidakwa.
Oh, yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So KKD says, hey, I listened to your show, Fisho. You present very well. I like the way you...
That's the highest compliment.
Yeah. So he says, I'll be opening a radio station very soon. When I do that, I'll employ you. And I kept that in my mind. So this is 1992 or so, 92, 92. And I kept that in my mind, but people say a lot of things and don't.
Right.
So it was just in my mind and left. But for him to tell me that was kind of pleasant, because at that time, he was probably one of the best
MCs, in the country.
In the country. So then I started DJing for hall events and small parties and for people around in my neighborhood. So like 21st birthdays, I'll do a lot of 21st birthdays because that was our age group. So that was how the DJ thing started. And then I finished university, and for real, Sunshine Radio was started by KKD, and he called me.
Oh, wow.
So Sunshine Choice FM, I was employee number 001. Very first person to be hired. Now, it was a little different. I was hired as a presenter.
Now the radio station you're talking about, that's in Ghana? Or
it's in Ghana,
In Ghana, okay.
In Ghana. Yeah. So I was hired as a presenter, not a DJ. What the concept was different. What he did was, the presenters are the guys who speak during the show. And every presenter had a DJ. So the DJ plays, they don't speak. The presenter speaks, he doesn't play. So my DJ was a guy called Fifi Pratt.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So Pratt was a brilliant DJ, but he didn't speak. I would present, but I didn't DJ properly. So, but we became so close with 3 presenters at that time. So 3 presenters, 3 DJs. We became so close that Pratt taught me how to DJ properly.
Oh, wow.
And I taught him the art of presenting. Yes. Yeah. They taught us when you speak over songs, the song is a song is playing, you don't speak over it, you speak during the bridge when there's no voice. You know how long to play certain things. If you're playing for a certain target audience, you don't cut this song. I mean, we went through all the training. But today when I listen to radio, I'm like, oh man, nobody trained these guys.
Wow.
So I think I became a better DJ because of Fifi Pratt. So
and I'm sure he probably became a better presenter.
He did. And we compliment, and he tells people that, and I do that too. I always say, I wouldn't be a DJ without Fifi Pratt, and he says he wouldn't be a radio presenter without me as well. So it worked out well.
You've been entertaining people for quite some time, more than half of your life. Now, how did it make you feel, knowing, especially around the pandemic, right? That and now I'm getting the other context of you grieving at that time too.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel that people were looking up to you to lift their spirits every Sunday?
Remember, I told you in the beginning I didn't want to do that. I wasn't. One, I was in the mood. 2, I wasn't a fan of putting my face out on social media while I was DJing. If there was no camera, I won't have a problem. But putting my face out there, I wasn't that. It was after that first show that I got the feedback, and then it was exciting. So I started focusing on helping. I'd always been somebody, maybe I picked that from my mom. It's fine to help your family, to be there for your family. But if you can extend that love to other people, you do that. And so I realized, okay, every week people were sending me money to say thank you for music. How can I transform that to make people happier? And so now I started looking forward to entertaining every Sunday through music. And then what could I do during the week? We could buy masks, we could buy sanitizer wipes, we could buy breakfast, we could do lunch. So we did it around here. And seeing the joy on people's faces through that was number 1. Number 2, and this was something I totally did not expect. COVID was tough for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
One group of people that we never really thought about were husbands and wives. There are a lot of people who, for some reason, realized they were used to being together a couple of hours every day.
And then they have to be
hours
the whole time.
Yes. So I get a letter. My very first letter was from a couple who, just before COVID, had decided to divorce. Right? Well, they hadn't divorced yet. They were still living together. One lived upstairs, one lived downstairs. And one Sunday, they are listening to my show, and I play a song, and that's the first song they danced to on their wedding day.
Oh, wow.
He was downstairs listening. He was upstairs listening, and he walked downstairs to his wife. They didn't say a word, and they started dancing with each other.
Wow.
So they sent me a message and a bottle of whiskey.
It's a Hollywood story.
They sent me a message and a bottle of whiskey to say thank you, that you have no idea what your program did to us. And that took me off guard. Then I got a message too from another lady whose daughter was 6 years old and had problem with communicating, right? Mm-hmm. She wasn't speaking. She had speech therapy. She wasn't speaking.
Mm-hmm.
One day, out of the blue, the daughter opens her mouth and all she says is DJ Fisho. Because I had a jingle that keeps playing.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I know that jingle.
Yeah. And the kid just starts saying DJ Fisho. So the mom sends me a message, almost in tears. And so we realized, whoa, this thing is not just, people dancing up and down here on screen. It's doing a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized, focus on this thing. Focus on it. It's probably a talent God has given you that you finally develop. Let's see what we're doing. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's still going. Because there are certain phases. I met a family in Ghana as well who had a kid, autistic. And, the kid finds it hard to focus. And they called me and they met me at a party, introduced themselves. I know you don't know me, but blah, blah, blah. My daughter listens to your show number 36. I don't even remember what show number 36 is. But she says, that's the only thing that keeps her calm. From beginning to consistently. So then I realized, this thing is just not about me, trying to make just playing music and keeping people on their toes, but it has a different impact that I probably do not even know about.
Yeah.
Yes, and if God has given me that, I mean, hey, I'm grateful. I'm
personally, when I'll come on Facebook and I'll see people wait.
Yeah.
People look forward to it. And I'll see people dancing in their homes.
Yeah.
It almost feels like they're going out to a party, but they're at home. Yeah. But because there's everyone else in the boxes, it feels like you're doing it together. It was a powerful thing to see, given what was happening at the time. People feeling isolated, and I didn't know all these other,
I know.
Yeah.
Somebody
Echo, how do you handle song request from guests? How do you handle
that? Now, if it's way ahead of time, no problem. I take my time and I look it. I'll purchase it. I'm very particular about the quality of the music that I play. So somebody said, "Oh, it's on YouTube. You should download it." I said, "No, I don't do that. I purchase my music from Apple Music. So if you give me a request and it is available on Apple, I'll purchase it. I have over, 30-something thousand songs. Almost every single one of them I bought on iTunes. So that to tell you how much money I spend on.
Yeah.
But don't you have the Apple Music?
If Apple Music doesn't allow you to DJ with it, you can buy it to own it, to listen to. Yeah, but you can't DJ with it. It's a different setup.
So you know that DJing outside in the club is totally different from DJing on a radio, yeah?
Yeah.
So today's music landscape with these Afrobeat, they have a lot of explicit sounds, sound that you cannot play on the radio. Now, how do you still DJ on the radio?
Oh, yes. To edit, bleep it out?
Yes.
Don't they have? I think they have clean versions, don't they?
Yes.
Well, some do have clean versions, some do not.
Yes. Some do have clean versions. So if I always purchase clean versions, and I tend to be on guard. I know my target audience. I know a lot of them listening with their children. So I try very hard not to play. I try to play clean versions of everything. Sometimes, occasionally, something will slip through, or sometimes it's not even intent. Is the core meaning of the song. That's what is a little dirty. So you can stay away from that. But yeah, on radio, you're very particular about the clean versions and what to play. In the nightclub, it's different. In the nightclub, you can go out and get away with almost.
Oh yeah, the nightclub, you can play the nasty one. That's when people like it. They just scream. Especially the girls, they start screaming.
Nightclub was a little different. I did the club scene a little bit when I was much younger.
So with all these genres, you play all the genres of African music, yeah? Now, I mean, Afrobeats with the S is right at the top now. Everybody's talking Afrobeat. Yeah. So where are the rest of the music? Like the real original high life, from Ghana, and of course the Congolese rumba is very popular as well. So. What do you have to say about all this?
Yeah, still, I think one that's really picked up hot, of course, is the Amapiano from South Africa. So that's pretty good. You have some good stuff from Kenya as well. Solid music. But Afrobeats, of course, I think Nigeria has the numbers, so that also helps. So the Afrobeats is well marketed. I should put it that way. It's well marketed. So you find it. Years ago in the US, we wouldn't hear Afrobeats on radio.
Oh, no, not at
all. Now, yeah, you wouldn't. Now you do hear it because the marketing of it has been well done.
Yeah. I think it started with Two-Face.
Yeah, Two-Face.
Yeah, Two-Face.
Yeah.
Two-Face Idiba. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I go to Target, and I'm in Target, and I can hear Afrobeat playing on the stage.
It's at the mall.
At the mall.
It's incredible how far we've come, eh?
Yes, and it's good.
Look, I went to Burna Boy. This is the second time. He sold out the whole arena. He's been doing it across the country for years.
incredible. You know what that has done too? It's increased tourism, right? I tell people that there are a lot of students will tell you, oh, December, they want to go to Ghana, dirty December, they want to go to Nigeria.
Right.
It's the music that has drawn them to that. So it's done brilliant. I think the Afrobeat has been brilliant. I think Amapiano is selling on its own. Yes, it's doing very well.
The sad part is that there's so much music. I mean, I listen to some music, Afrobeats from Sierra Leone, from other countries that are not known for Afrobeats, right?
Right.
And somehow the main play is, of course, Nigerian Afro music is dominating, and then Ghana is slightly behind. But there's so much more, like you mentioned, Kenya.
Yeah.
You know, and many other places too that we don't. Uganda, we don't get to hear.
We start a lesson from Benin, which is souk.
Oh, and yes.
Beautiful souk. And sometimes, when I look at my target audience and I go to a function, I'll play those in the beginning when there's a lot of networking and chatter, just to get a conversation started.
Right.
So that's why I tend to introduce these type of music genres out there, so people kind of ask you, hey, what's this, or who is this? Because during the main play, when people are on the floor, they might not want that. They want to hear a lot of the popular songs. But a session somewhere where you introduce new music, I always love that. I try to do that on my show.
I was going to say that because as a DJ, I feel as though you're also the trendsetter.
Yes.
For introducing people to the new music and stuff like that. A lot of people feel like, oh, I need to play what they already know. But then there's all this new music. I mean, I can speak for Bay Area. Bay Area DJs don't normally play new music. And they stick to what they already know, or the crowd already knows. But I'm happy you mentioned that as a DJ, you introduce them to it.
Yeah, you do that.
I mentioned my favorite guest on your show. The time the Afrobeats people. Afrobeat. You have a favorite. Who and then why?
Yeah. That's a tough one. So many guests I don't even know. But my simplest answer is always my very first guest. My very first guest was Samini. Samini was a pro. He was amazing, because we had no idea what we were doing. This was my 4th week on MQF then. We had no idea what we were doing. I had contacted him. So I had spoken to a lady at that time. She was the president of African One Media. She manages a lot of the artists at that time. Unfortunately, she passed away not too long ago, Cynthia. So I called, or she contacted me and says, Fisho, your show is going crazy. At that time, we're averaging about 500-600 people on the show every Sunday, on Facebook every Sunday. Now you had Instagram and the radio stations and all that. So she says, you can get these guests, these artists they're just home. We can get them. And so she says, okay, I'll get you Sarkodie. So I says, okay, fine. So this is Tuesday. Thursday, she contacted me and said she can't reach Sarkodie. He was in the US, but he was somewhere, couldn't reach him. But is it okay if she gets me Samini? I said, of course. I had him come on. We just did a test, make sure Zoom was fine. And then when the show started, he came on, answered my questions, and I said, would you sing for us? Like I said, I hadn't done anything about at that time. So just him on his show, I'll play a couple of his songs in the background and do a very short interview, and then I'll let him sing, and he did that. And he was very graceful. He was very grateful. It was nice. So Samini was my first guest, and I really appreciate him for doing that, because he opened the doors for the others.
Many others to follow.
Yes. Kojoinchi was brilliant. Kojoinchi is one of the top artists of his time. Kojoinchi came on. Kojoinchi gave me my biggest crowd, my biggest numbers on Facebook and on Zoom. Zoom, at that time, I think I had about 100 on Zoom. It was full by the time, as soon as the show started. So now our problem was, if Kojoinchi was coming on the show, how does he get on? We need to keep somebody out because it's full. Zoom was full. Was Zoom. How does that
problem to have?
Yeah. So that was a tough one. We managed to get that on. I got this guy was also a good guest. I forgot his name, but the guy who said, "You want to chill with the big boys," the Nigerian guy.
Oh yeah, Bamba, you want Bamba, yeah.
At that time, that song was
that song was hot.
So he came on, and then I had on the gospel side Diana Hamilton. I loved Dana Hamilton. At that time, she had a song which was #1 everywhere. And I usually like to do an interview with a guest about an hour before the show.
Sure.
Make sure that the lighting is fine where they are and they can hear me. I did an interview with Diana Hamilton. She asked me what time she would come on, and I said 10:30 p.m. in the UK because the clocks had moved back. She said 10:30 p.m. That's late. I said, yes, but I'll make it a short interview. I promise you I'll make it about 15 or 20 minutes. She says, okay. So she comes on at 10:30 p.m. I knew that, she had a little bit of an attitude because of it was late. That was probably my longest interview. We spoke for about an hour. She was fun. She was excellent. Apparently she had COVID. She hid it from me. She hid it from everybody till the day after she sent me a message. So she went through, all that, weakness that COVID makes you feel, but she had a great time. She loved the audience. She loved the feedback. So I appreciated the sacrifice that she did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so maybe those are some of the three that come to mind, but I've had a very good time with these audience. I'm actually every artist has his own story, so
right.
Not laughing. I'm actually wanted to play live band, and the transmission from the live band to the Zoom was a little bit difficult.
Yeah,
but he's a legend. I can't tell him don't do that. So let's do that all the same. But it's been a good ride. I've enjoyed that. So today, the show is still MQF, but it's called Music for Your Quality Feet because quarantine. Yeah. So I did 100 shows of Music for Your Quarantine Feet. And because people still wanted it, and I told you because the impact of what the show does for people behind the scenes, I couldn't stop it. So we call it Music for Your Quality Feet. And what we did was, all these fundraising stuff. I mean, after I did a number of hospitals in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area. Okay. We did some fire stations. Then we focused on hospitals in Ghana. I started with the University of Ghana Hospital where I grew up, moved it to all the regions, went to Cape Coast, went to the north, supporting hospitals out there. Then we decided to focus on one thing. So we adopted an orphanage that we will support with whatever money we had raised and saved. So we're supporting an orphanage in Nyamidia Children's Home over in Accra. We're building a small library for them, and we should have done that by now. But there was another group of friends or an organization that wanted to build them a clinic, and they were using the space where we're going to put the library. So they built the clinic. And what we've done right now is on top of the clinic, we've added one more floor. So we're building, instead of just the library, we have half of it will be the library and half will be like a dispensary or something of that nature. So we built that with the funds that we've raised. We have some money left. On Sundays, people send you $50 here, $20 here, all that. We save all that. So we have to do some tiling. I think I have to do tiling, windows, and then the final finishing on that one.
All right. So, we could be talking with you for a long time because you have a very good story to tell, and we very sorry to tell. And thank you, really, thank you. For lifting up people's spirit during a very hard time, that keep on going. And what you just said about giving the money back to the people and
supporting both here and at home.
Yeah, supporting here and home. This is really good. It's very good.
It's easier to be selfless than to be selfish.
So yes.
I don't know what I would have done when the cash app came in. I was like, thank you.
I told you. I bought ice cream, but how much ice cream can I get out of $500?
$500 worth, okay?
Yeah. So I still get my ice cream, but we can help people with the rest.
Yeah,
right. That's really, really.
And again, really thank you. Thank you for taking some time to speak with us here on African Straight Talk. Yeah. This has been African Straight Talk. I, along with Kwesi Wilson, truly appreciate your support. Reach out. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts, and keep the conversation going. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast by searching Africa Straight Talk. And of course, spread the word and tell a friend or 10 about us. Interested in sponsoring our podcast for being a guest on our show? email us africastraighttalk@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to this episode. We invite you to check back here for our next one. In the meantime, be safe, be well, and love one another.